Donald Trump just held a disastrous public meeting with some of his ambassadors. The national security advisor, Mike Walls, was there. He was one of the individuals on the group text thread where war plans were leaked to a reporter who was invited into this unsecured group text thread. So Donald Trump was asked about this massive scandal. Donald Trump was asked, so why are you and your regime now saying that the information in this text thread was not classified? Trump just shuts the question down and says, another question, please. Here, play this clip.
Decades.
Mr. President also told you that information was not classified.
Another question,
which is your national
please.
security advisor.
Just following up on your comments on the economy.
Then Donald Trump says he knows nothing about Signal, that he just even heard about this, that he has nothing to do with it. Here, play this clip.
National security was put at risk, Mr. President.
Of senior officials using Signal.
Do I plan to ban who?
The use of Signal to communicate from senior officials.
Well, I don't know what is. I don't know anything about Signal. I wasn't involved in this, but I just heard about it. And I hear it's used by a lot of groups. It's used by the media a lot. It's used by a lot of the military, and I think successfully. But sometimes somebody can get onto those things. That's one of the prices you pay when you're not sitting in the Situation Room with no phones on, which is always the best, frankly. But,
Then Donald Trump attacks the editor-in-chief of Atlantic, who was brought into this chat, didn't ask to be on this chat, and starts attacking the Atlantic and attacking the editor-in-chief and saying, I think that he's bad for the country. He makes up a lot of stories. Folks, he just quoted directly what was on the chat. Here, play this clip.
From what I heard, the man that we're talking about, who's not somebody that I don't think most people have ever heard of, he left. He found it very boring, and he left early. He got off the line very early. So I can't speak to it other than that. So he's made up a lot of stories, and I think he's basically bad for the country. But it's a failing venture, very failing venture. They're very upset, and a thing like this is publicity for them. But
then Donald Trump continues to attack the Atlantic. He calls the guy a sleazebag. He calls the editor-in-chief, who Trump's own national security advisor and defense secretary brought onto this chat, a sleazebag. Here, play this clip.
That's an app that a lot of people use, and somebody got on. I mean, happened to know the guy's a total sleazebag. The Atlantic is a failed magazine. Does very, very poorly. Nobody gives a damn about it. This gives it a little bit of a shot. And I will tell you this, that they've made up more stories. And they're just a failing magazine. The public understands that.
And this is the Trump regime way. It's not just deflect and deny. It is to affirmatively attack for the Trump regime's own misconduct. Then Donald Trump says, if it was up to me, I would just put everybody in a lead room. And that's how I would avoid national secrets getting out via text chats with emojis about freaking war plans. Here, play this clip.
You want to call it, and we will certainly look. If it was up to me, everybody would be sitting in a room together. The room would have solid lead walls and a lead ceiling and a lead floor. But, life doesn't always let you do that.
And then Donald Trump says, this is all to do about nothing. What are we even talking about? Everyone's just trying to criticize me because I had the most perfect, beautiful months ever. Here, play this clip.
Because I know people do get on those lines, whether it's Signal or anything else. Yeah.
Are you going to change any procedures as a result of this?
Well, I mean, look, we look at everything, and, they've made a big deal out of this because we've had 2 perfect months. We are bringing in business. We have another one announced tomorrow, a big one, very big. Like in the history of our country, nobody's ever seen anything like it. And I think probably a lot of people are saying they started by saying it was the greatest first month that a president has ever had, and I think that's true. And now they say it's the best second month, and they had to find something. And this certainly will look at this. But the main thing was nothing happened. The attack was totally successful.
No, Donald, you had the worst 2 months, the worst 60 days in the history of the United States presidency where you destroyed, dismantled, and did a hostile takeover of the federal government, where you destroyed the lives of federal workers and veterans, where you destroyed people's pensions, life savings, 401ks, where you made the United States isolated. You pushed our allies away. You talk about invading and annexing Canada and Greenland and Panama. You made a mockery of the United States. You did not lower prices on day one, as you promised. You did not create peace in Ukraine on day one, as you promised. You did not make housing more affordable on day one, as you promised. There was nothing about no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, no tax on overtime. You've made everything worse with your chaos and authoritarian regime. Oh, then Donald Trump praises his national security advisor, Mike Waltz, for these security breaches. Great man. Here, play this clip.
Stories, and they're just a failing magazine. The public understands that. He's a very good man. That man is a very good man right there that you criticize so strongly. He's a very good man, and he will continue to do a good job. In addition to him, we had very good people in that meeting, and those people have done a very, very effective job, and you're going to see it. And it goes on, by the way.
Then Donald Trump says, of course, we're going to keep everything as secure as possible. He goes, they're just coming after me because they don't want to talk about all the success that I've had. Here, play this clip.
Very exciting. But I think it's something you should look into.
Yes, sir, we are. We have our technical experts looking at it. We have our legal teams looking at it. And of course, we're going to keep everything as secure as possible. No one in your national security team would ever put anyone in danger. And as you've said, we've repeatedly said, the attack was phenomenal and it's ongoing. But the media wants to talk about everything else except for the hostages you're getting out of the Middle East, Iran on its back foot, sea lanes getting reopened, peace in Europe. As we just saw today with a Black Sea ceasefire, we were just on with Steve Witkoff, myself, our team in Saudi Arabia. They want to talk about all this other stuff except for your amazing successes and the successes of your team.
And again, what success? You now have all of our former allies saying they don't even want to buy weapons from the United States because you're saying you're going to provide them essentially with defective weaponry. Oh, and then, by the way, Donald Trump has said, maybe we'll use Signal again. Maybe we'll communicate via this social media app even more because sometimes you just need to be quick. So you need to use Signal. No, you don't. It is inherently a violation of the Espionage Act. And talking about sources, methods, and war plans is clearly classified information. Here, play this clip.
Exactly things like that. But I don't think it's something we're looking forward to using again. We may be forced to use it. You may be in a situation where you need speed as opposed to gross safety. And you may be forced to use it. But generally speaking, I think we probably won't be using it very much.
Can we geek out for a minute on something? I think it's going to be helpful for you. It's called Fatty 15. Its co-founder, Dr. Stephanie Vin Watson, discovered C15 as the first essential fatty acid to be found in 90 years while working with the U.S. Navy to improve the health and welfare of aging dolphins. It's pretty simple. Essential nutrients keep our cells healthy, which keeps us healthy. So if you want to get sciencey about it, studies show that C15, it works by strengthening our cells, improving our mitochondrial function, and protecting us against damaging free radicals. So if you feel like, how could I stop aging faster? Or I'm sleeping poorly or feeling sluggish, the bottom line is that many of us are deficient in C15, which results in weaker cells, which results in those things. So Fatty 15 is the science-backed award-winning vegan and pure C15 supplement that steps in and helps. It works in multiple ways. It repairs age-related damage to cells. It protects them from future breakdowns. It boosts mitochondrial energy output and activates pathways in the body that help regulate sleep, mood, natural repair mechanisms that support our overall health. So deeper sleep, smoother functioning joints, healthier hair, skin, and nails. That's essential, and the C15 helps here, and Fatty 15 delivers. So it comes in these gorgeous reusable glass bamboo jars and refill capsules that are shipped to your door quarterly in pouches made from recycled materials. I love that. Fatty 15 is on a mission to replenish your C15 levels and restore your long-term health. You can get an additional 15% off their 90-day subscription starter kit by going to fatty15.com/Meidas and using the code Meidas at checkout.
That's fatty15.com/Meidas, fatty15.com/Meidas, MEIDAS. Use that code Meidas at checkout, MEIDAS.
It should also be noted that Donald Trump's envoy to Russia was in Russia while on this text thread. So undoubtedly, Russia now has this information. The individual was in Moscow when this was taking place. Also, Tulsi Gabbard, who at a hearing before the Senate earlier today refused to even confirm that she was TG with the initials in the chat. She was overseas as well. Who the hell even knows where Tulsi Gabbard was? But she also says none of the information was classified, but also she refuses to say if she is TG. Oh, then Donald Trump attacks Europe. Play this clip.
The Secretary of Defense on that chain, the Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, and J.D. Vance, the Vice President, said that the Europeans were freeloading. Do you agree with that assessment?
Do you really want me to answer that?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think they've been freeloading. The European Union's been absolutely terrible to us on trade, terrible. And as you know, NATO, I got them to pay hundreds of billions of dollars. They were way behind. And if you look at Ukraine, so we're in for $350 billion because of Biden. Should have never happened, this war. All these dead people should not be dead. All these broken cities that are demolished down to the ground, those gorgeous towers, the most beautiful in the world, the most beautiful spires in the world. The spires in Ukraine were said to be the most beautiful of all. Just about every one of them is lying on its side in a million pieces. It's so sad to see what's happened to a heritage. No, I think when they say the European Union and you could say NATO also, look, NATO, and I don't blame NATO for this. I don't blame Europe for this. I blame Biden for the fact that he didn't make them equalize. And to this day, I said to him, you got to catch up. You got to equalize. But why are they in for $100 billion and we're in for possibly $350 billion?
Then Donald Trump says, look, the main thing here, nothing happened. This wasn't bad. So because nothing happened and nothing bad happened, nothing was classified. Here, play this clip.
This certainly will look at this. But the main thing was nothing happened. The attack was totally successful. It was, I guess, from what I understand, took place during, and it wasn't classified information. So this was not classified. Now, if it's classified information, it's probably a little bit different. But I always say you have to learn from every experience. I think it was very unfair the way they attacked Michael. He's a good person. The person that was on just happens to be a sleazebag. So maybe that's just coincidence. I don't know.
But you also
Who's telling you that nothing is classified? What does that even mean? Nothing. I know that you just stole classified documents like nuclear secrets and brought it to Mar-a-Lago and then just threw them on the bathroom and threw them. And I know you don't care about classified information, but we don't know whether or not the Russians now have access to this. Clearly, this wasn't the only group signal chat that was taking place. So who else has access to this stuff right now? Are all of our war plans on freaking signal chats? And by the way, Project 2025 outlined put stuff on signal chats in order to avoid Presidential Records Act and public records requests and having to turn over things to the archives. This is all part of a nefarious plan as part of their undermining of our federal government as well. Then Donald Trump says Mike Waltz, the national security advisor, should not apologize. Play this clip.
Do you think that Mike Waltz made a mistake, and does he need to apologize?
No, I don't think he should apologize. I think he's doing his best. It's equipment and technology that's not perfect, and probably he won't be using it again, at least not in the very near future. What do you think?
That's sir. I agree with you. Let's get everybody in the room whenever possible.
A lot of times you find out defects by exactly things like that. But
cue in Mike Waltz, who's at this meeting, and he says that this is really just about the journalists who are trying to make a big name for themselves, trying to scam everybody. Here, play this clip.
Mr. President, you asked about lessons. I think there's a lot of journalists in this city who have made big names for themselves, making up lies about this president, whether it's the Russia hoax or making up lies about Gold Star families. And this one in particular, I've never met, don't know, never communicated with. And we are looking into and reviewing how the heck he got into this room. But I'll tell you what, the world owes President Trump a favor under.
What are you even talking about? Y'all invited this guy into he didn't ask to be included on your chat. And then he just published verbatim what you said and then even kept out certain sources and methods so that people would not get killed. Then Donald Trump is asked, so are you okay with the continued use of this? Here, play this clip.
Go ahead.
Are you saying you're okay with the continued use of Signal by administration officials?
No, that's not what I said. I said we'll look into it, but everybody else seems to be using it. It seems to be the number one used device or app, whatever you want to call it.
Literally zero consistency here. And then more attacking of the journalist by Mike Waltz. Let's play it.
Otherwise, so look, this journalist, Mr. President, wants the world talking about more hoaxes and this kind of nonsense rather than the freedom that you're enabling. And a key part of our sovereignty is open sea lanes and knocking the crap out of terrorists, which is exactly what your team and Pete Hegseth, a good friend and fellow veteran, is leading the charge on. And it's an honor.
We had a very, very successful.
What a horrific public meeting before the press. Utter humiliation for our country. Another horrific day, a sad day that will live in infamy while our enemies are laughing at us. What do you think happens when you put people like a former Fox News host with zero experience in any military capacity running the Department of Defense, or Tulsi Gabbard, who many suspected is an actual asset of foreign countries? What do you think happens? Wait, hit subscribe. Let's get to 5 million subscribers. Thanks for watching.
The truth is more important than ever. Check out our new Truth Over Lies collection at store.MeidasTouch.com. All 100% USA union made.